Hi friends, my name is Carrie Anderson. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And one of the amazing things about me is that I am the stewardess of some amazing journals. These were left to me by my great grandmother, Frank Kibbers, and I posted a video about some of these journals before and I had great feedback. It's one of my highest viewed videos on this channel, so I'll make sure to link that somewhere around here. But I thought it would be fun today if we dive in specifically to one journal at a time. I haven't opened this yet. I mean, I've looked through all of them at some point, but I thought that I would just kind of blind react to my great grandma's journals and go through it and show you what she was doing. This one is from 1944 to 1947. Let's go ahead and dive in. So before we get started, a few notes. One is that she really liked this Scribble In book company. I'm not sure if these are still available anywhere, but that would be really cool to find out. But I have a lot of Scribble In books by her. And this over here, you'll see I'm starting to kind of lay out a structure for them. It's really hard because there are so many, but it looks like at one point she actually wrote through and categorized some of them. So this one she called 6E, which I haven't figured out that structure yet, but I put on here 6E. And then one thing I love is that she always puts the starting date and the ending date in these. And then Rosalind Kibbers, that was my grandmother. So this is her daughter's book. She had 6 children, and sometimes she would copy multiple sketches or passages into multiple different books. So this one in particular is my grandma's book, and let's dive into it, shall we? Okay, so she was a sketch artist and also a journaler, as you can see. But the beautiful thing about these books is that not only are they journal pieces, but she also includes sketches through here. So let's just kind of keep flipping through and find something that looks interesting. I mean, it's all interesting, right? I just love looking at these books. They are so precious to me. Here's something that I love that she does. She will put conversations between people and almost write it out like a script. So in this one, we'll start up here. The doorbell rings. Much laughter. Jack. Darn it, Rochester had to leave that footstool in the middle of the hall. Welcome to my humble Roz. I could sure shoot whoever did that. Took my compact too. M. Who gave it to you? R, which is Rosalind. Edwin. Jack. Say, fellows, after dinner, we ought to entertain Miss Parsons, I think. I insist that you ask me to play my violin. Mary, and ask Dennis to stay. He sings over I love you. I don't know. Some of it is hard to read, but I will say that once you start reading them more often, you really kind of get her handwriting a little bit better. So here is a sketch of Alice. And then this is cool. This says the hit parade, April 8th. So this is the top, let's see. They're kind of all over the place. They're kind of all over the place, but this is the hit parade from April 8th. And one thing that I wish she did better was put the year on here. I'm going to assume this is 1944 because of the fact that that's when this journal started. But it's really cool that you can see what the songs of the time were. So in this one, it looks like the number one song was It's Love, Love, Love by Joan E. Never heard that song. I will have to look it up.
If your knees go knockety-knock,
It's love, love, love.
if you cuckoo like the cuckoo in the clock,
It's love, love, love.
Number 2, I Love You by Frank S. We can assume that's Frank Sinatra. He has a few hits on here. So that is a really fun addition that she includes in here. Sometimes she uses colored pencils, and all of this is done by pencil. She really used pencil 99% of the time. This one says Joe something and Roz. That is not my grandpa, so I'm not sure who that is. Roz and Joe something from Iowa. Louisiana, close to Camp Claiborne. Not sure who that was, but I guess he's hitting on my grandma. Oh, and there's a random baby. So she did, like I said, have different books for different people, but sometimes they just all kind of bleed together. Let's read a little bit from here. Radio. Do that while hot lips. Lila. Hot lips suits the action to the words. So just some little moments that were probably very ordinary for them, but are fun for me to read about and think about what life was like when she was writing this. Another cool thing in here, Rosalind Kibbers, that's my grandma, and a random address. So that would be fun to put into Google Maps and see what it looks like now. But there are so many fun little surprises to be had in here. Every time I look at these books, it inspires me to want to draw more because I'm like, how did she just do that with a pencil? It almost looks like a few strokes, just and that was it. Here's a little piece that says copied from Pat's book the same evening I wrote it. So it's almost like she started it and then, oh, never mind, I'm not going to finish that. This is a cute caption. Beverly in the role of Cinderella. Mrs. Morley, so that would be my great grandma on my dad's side. This is written by my dad's mom's mom, if you can track that. So this is a different side of the family, but very cool to see her featured in here as well. That's a cute little sketch. Here we see the wedding flowers depleted and fading. White chrysanthemums, and that's in Christmas, which almost makes me wonder. I know that my grandma and grandpa got married in 1944, I believe. When did this book start? I think it's in 1944. Yeah, so this would have probably been my grandma and grandpa's wedding flower, white chrysanthemums. That's so cool to know. And I wonder where that vase is today. Probably long gone. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here are some skates. And you can see in here, I don't know what this all says, but it says, Mother, draw a picture of this, skates. So it's almost like they were giving her things to draw as well, which is really cute. These journals were passed around in the family in terms of after she would write or draw on them, they were pretty much fair game, it seems like, for the family to be able to read them. They weren't private by any means. They were shared with everybody. So people will sometimes do their own writing in here. Sometimes you'll even see stuff crossed out if they didn't want it to be documented forever. Here's Roz and Pat. Not sure who Pat is, but she has a book in here. Here's Bob. That's my grandpa and Roz. So just hanging out, reading a book. I love this double print picture of them. Sunday, 6 p.m., a busy Sunday. Bob was cleaning the basement. I was straightening the attic, my domain. Roz was taking things out of the cupboards and putting on shelf paper with a something edge with a boughten edge maybe, and putting her own dishes in. We ate tonight off the white dishes Miss Spate got them. Roz fished for compliments from her chocolate pie. It's also interesting to see these and think about how much of her time was filled writing in these, where how much of my time now is filled with social media. And how would it be if I just wrote in a journal all the time instead of being on my phone? Because, of course, they didn't have phones back then, and so they had much more time to focus on these kinds of things. Or they made the time, I should say. This one says Roz wraps packages. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, maybe a Christmas tree. Looks like that one's not fully finished. That's beautiful. Oh, this is Jane Russell in Sports Magazine, not on her own account altogether, but on account of her husband is a celebrated football player. I quote, she calls him, quote, Robert, as if Robert were a nickname for Bob, and she looks at him as she is still in the 8th grade. In the presence of such esteem as would make an ordinary fellow collapse with scarlet fever. And on and on. This is beautiful. Sleepy. I also really love to see what they were wearing then. I mean, it's not a photograph, but it might as well be because it's so clear what they looked like, especially the ones that are colored. Here's another address, although I'm not sure who that person is. And here is a floor plan. Somebody's house. I don't know where that is, but that's pretty interesting. Oh, here we go. Ethel's house in Glasgow, Monticello, Iowa, which is where she was from. Here is some more floor plans. Roz making kitchen curtains and Bob hanging out nearby. Oh, here's another one. Bob draws this diagram of his parents' house east of gravity. So that's kind of cool. This one was drawn by my grandpa in this book. And neat to know kind of how their house looked like. I wish this one had an address because that would be really fun to look up as well. Continued in the next book, a gray one. And that one will be from May 1st, 1947 to June 2nd, 1948. So that was a quick little look through the Scribble In book from 1944. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, there's always so much that I miss from going through these, and I might go through it again and see something completely different. So thank you for joining me, and please let me know in the comments below, how are you documenting your life? Are you filming YouTube videos? Are you journaling or scrapbooking? I almost consider these more of the scrapbook realm because they really are so much more than just journaling with the pictures too. But thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.